Chanudamardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Whenever we talk about spiritual life, for that we read the scriptures, for that we do different kind of good practices, spiritual practices, moral practices, something for which we undergo hardship, struggle. That struggle and hardship is called tapasya, which you voluntarily take. You have food, but voluntarily you fast. That is called tapasya. Any kind of struggle which you are ready to take, physical, mental, to reach a state of mind which is called by different names in different religion. In the same religion like Hinduism, where there is lot of scriptures and there are many ways prescribed. You have bhakti schools and you have a Vedanta school, you have people believe in karma yoga. So the goal, those same, but given different names. In yoga or in Vedanta, this goal is called samadhi, a state of mind where your mind is steady in those values which you call ideal. Again, I would like to emphasize this. I can't say about scriptures of other religions, but in Hinduism, the process, the goal is described, but the process which you select, it is not micromanaged in Hinduism. It will not tell you what food you should take. The name of the food is not given. Type of food is given. Now, which food falls into which category, you decide. It is something like, don't take too much food. What is too much? It's a relative concept. Maybe 1 spoon of rice is enough for me. Maybe somebody requires 3 spoons of rice. So you decide which is sufficient, you decide which is more. Same way, there is a Rajasika, Tamasika and Sattvika, a balanced food. A food which creates inertia in your mind, and the food which makes you hyper. Now, what makes you hyper? It's up to you. In general, we say, but it's not necessary that everything works for everybody the same way. Some people say, if I take a cup of coffee, I can't sleep. I think you gave me a cup of coffee, after drinking I can sleep nicely. It's how your body and how your mind reacts to it. You know, when you travel, especially more than 8-10 hours flight, so people say, jet lag. It takes a whole day for me to come to the routine or timing of other country. I told you, it's a psychological concept. I remember once I traveled Longest flight was 17 hours. So started night, continuously I am flying in night only. When I went to little southward, at that time little change came, otherwise it was completely night. But I told my mind, as soon as I got on board, it is 8:30 p.m. Okay. If your mind says, no, already 17 hours passed, so I started at this time, so it should be 2 o'clock in the night, not 8:30 in the night, then it takes time for you to be aligned with the local timings. So it's everything is in the mind. So which creates inertia, for example. Actually, every food is toxic. Food itself is toxic. If your stomach is full, you feel sleepy. Because food itself is toxic. So you decide which is good for you, and you decide how much is good for you. But we want to achieve that state of mind. A state of mind which is undisturbed. When we try to meditate, you will find the mind goes everywhere. It is like a small child. Don't go there. First it will go there only. Because you underline where you should not go. Don't go there. Why? There is the age of the children where why question comes. When the logic starts working, all why. First question comes what? What is this? What is this? What is this? But after a certain age, maybe 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, if you tell why. So we want to achieve a state which is undisturbed. But mind goes. The biggest challenge for everyone, in every religion, in every path of religions, is to purify the mind and concentrate the mind. Whole game, all your scriptures, whatever you are reading, everything is for these two purposes. How to clean my mind and how to concentrate my mind. Teachers will come to the class and focus here. So the students say, how to focus? Forget any other thing. You will find it. Some children will do like this, pinch somebody. So the teacher will say, no, focus. So you restrict your body. To restrict the mind, first you restrict your body. Very simple few things are there which are told. Our mind is the same like children. You sit, don't move your hands. Immediately, I do like this, I do like this, I do like this. Because of my body consciousness. So you will be told to tolerate. Okay, just don't move. Something, okay, I feel little itchy, okay, you will not die if you don't scratch it. But our habit is there to remove that itchiness. So mind goes here, then mind goes here, then mind goes here. It's a continuous process. People come and say, my mind wanders everywhere. My mind is not concentrated. That is the nature of the mind. It is something, if you say, the water in my house, if I keep it, always evaporates. That is the nature of the water. mind, it's a given mind which is interested in everything. According to your set of desires which you have brought, you are attracted to those things. There is a repulsiveness for few things. Either you don't care, it is a kind of aloof, who kind of don't care, kind of don't pay attention. A neutral state. But then there are some objects to which you are attracted. You think about the people, the things, the places and concepts. Equally, there are concepts which you have dislike. Or when dislike becomes more, it becomes hatred. Hatred becomes disgust, then becomes anger. So that's a negative side. But it's the same. People, places, things and concepts. And our mind is always that oscillation continuously. This I like, this I don't like, this I like, this I don't like. And whole life goes into that. Scripture first tells you, okay, stand for a while. Do you think why your mind goes here and there? So the study of mind is required. Religion comes later, spirituality comes later. But before that comes the study of mind. We are not psychologists, we are not psychiatrists. That's another aspect of study. But our mind basically works and it's connected with your instinct. If my mind goes here, I get a type of happiness. So my mind wants to go more and more towards it. Because everybody wants to be happiness. But here I don't get happiness. So I don't go naturally towards those objects. But I have to come in contact with those objects anyway. So mind starts reacting to this unwanted, the object which you dislike. So I get irritated, then I get angry. These negative emotions comes in our mind. So a state of mind is required. Even if I get the things which irritates me, I should not be disturbed. There are objects which continuously attracts me. It's not a simple attraction. An attraction which doesn't allow you to focus. Simple attraction is okay. When the attraction is out of your control, unknowingly also you do the same. Then we immediately generalize and say that has become his or her nature, or it has become my nature. No. That mind which is not trained, that which is not supervised, that which is not corrected, will behave according to instinct. As simple. So very few people are there who are consciously observing their mind and guide their mind and just giving. When you have seen in Indian villages or any country, there is one man and we are having 1,000 goats grazing. So he will have a long stick. Do like this, do like this, do like this. So all more or less the whole herd will be together. And it is bigger herd, they train the dogs to keep them under control. So idea is to control. It is a scatter. Goats are not under your control. They go here, they go there, so you control them. Same thing you see when the horse carriage, how they drag. One hand there is a reins are there under by which the horse is tied, controlled. And then there is a left and right, the continuous guiding. Then the horse will go where you want to take the horse. But we don't do this to our mind. So this, whatever you do positive, for example, you come to temple, anyway you are telling your mind to do little spiritual things, do little religious things, keep your mind pure, etc. Again, the same mind goes to different objects because you get happiness out of it. So you go, your mind drags you. First mind goes, then mind will drag the body also. So this continuous observation, and it is so difficult, it's not easy. Arjuna says to Sri Krishna in one sloka, what you are telling to control mind is like controlling the air, controlling the wind. How to control the wind? Sri Krishna says, yeah, I know it. It's not easy. It's not easy, it's difficult, but possible. How possible? Little detachment and continuous practice. Abhyasa, vairagya. If you say, no, I am trying for last whole year, nothing happens, I will, you can't give up. It's a continuous process. Lifelong process. Even after reaching certain state where you have bit of enlightenment also, still you have to control your mind. Sri Ramakrishna says. Because you are still connected with your body. That means you are connected with your instincts. Let's say you are connected with the bodily cravings. This side you may have understood so many things. That doesn't make any difference. Sri Ramakrishna says in one place, even if you are enlightened, so far as you have a body, you need to be careful. Because it is there. You can't get rid of it. So far you have a body, you have instinct. And instincts are that with which you are born. As the body has instinct, mind also has instinct. If your body you must eat, you will feel hungry. Whether it is you and me, or whether it is Sri Ramakrishna, Jesus Christ, whomsoever, all will feel hungry. All will have to eat. Similarly, all the instinct work. You try to control with your willpower. You try to control with a kind of detachment. And let me tell a spontaneous thing which comes to my mind. Then there will be something new in telling, otherwise I can repeat what is written in the books. If you cannot prevent your mind, you try, but still mind goes there because of mind as a habit of being in contact with those objects, not in this life but in many lives. So you are naturally, spontaneously, your mind goes there. So what you do? First you control the body. Okay, I will not go there. You shut yourself inside the room. And the state of mind, after some time, comes down. It will come again. So, to prevent mind from being associated with the object, it's difficult to control the mind, so you control the body. If I go there, then I will drink. So I don't go. If I meet these friends, they force me to smoke, they force me to drink, etc. etc. I don't know. I be away from those friends. All these things you will be able to correlate when these qualities of the great people will come. There is a quality called Arati Jana Samsadi. He is not interested in crowd. Crowd has many meanings here. It is not simple crowd, like a crowd in a big Kumbh Mela. So far as you do not know anybody, is okay. But 3 people make a crowd and they influence each other. So Arati, disinterestedness in a crowd. So staying alone. Buddha says to his disciple, Ekeva Charet Bhikshu. Bhikshu will be always alone. Why? As soon as there are 2, the second person has his or her own liking, disliking and a set of instincts, set of desires. It will influence you. So want to remain alone. So idea is this. To control, you cannot destroy your instinct. You can punish your body, but that doesn't reduce your instinct. So there is an inherent tendencies, then there is a mind. Any amount of good practice you do, the mind doesn't go to. So easiest way is what? You be free from those objects. Many of us thought, I have diabetes, I love chocolate, I love ice cream. So what do? I don't keep in my fridge any ice cream or chocolate. Because if it is there, I will eat. So you don't keep. See? You can't go inside and change my mind. So externally you create an atmosphere, create a situation where you will not be tempted to do it. Actually what you are doing, you are withdrawing yourself from those sense objects. Withdrawing. One quality is given in the scriptures, it will come. To be disconnected with those objects which could make your mind extrovert. So to be introvert, you rather shun the company of those objects. Don't hate. Hatred is nothing but hatred is a negative attachment. When you are attached to someone, you think about him or her, correct? But if you hate somebody, you keep on thinking about him or her. Thinking is the same, positively or negatively. So you have to be free from these two, attachment and aversion. I was talking the other day, when individually also, when chance comes and people ask questions, I generally enter into this kind of conversation. And this question I ask, what is opposite to attachment? Immediately people say detachment. No. Opposite to attachment is hatred, aversion. Detachment is the correct position. You are neither attached nor you have any aversion for or you are hatred for this. So no hatred, no attachment. Detachment is a right equilibrium state of mind. If you become detached, generally people say, oh, he keeps detached with everybody, because that is the right thing to do. But you cannot live like this. So you decide how much I should be attached and how much I should be. Hatred you don't keep, but dislike up to a certain extent for your good is okay. Then of course you refine your thinking. You don't hate the person, you hate his habit. So your hatred for the person which is harmful to you, that will not happen. But that quality you hate, that quality you have a dislike for, so that you can be free from. But if you are focused in your spiritual life, it's difficult. The more spiritual you are, your life becomes more difficult compared to a normal person's life. How difficult? I remember I used to, now don't go much because of COVID, and then the situation is changed there. But every year I used to go and have a series of lectures and all that. So the host, the lady of the house used to say, Swamiji, my everything is gone. Why, what happened? You are in a big house, everything is there, your daughters are already doctors and husband is a big doctor, this and that. No, I'm not telling that. Every weekend, something or other is there at our home. And because there is no way in ashram or something, so monks will go and stay in their house. So they say every now and then, monks will be there. So people say, oh, my son's marriage is a when? Oh, this Sunday reception. Sorry, I cannot go. That Swamiji has come, you have a lecture. So slowly what happens, that not that you have a dislike for the social life, but slowly your social life becomes secondary. You keep as much as it is required to keep. I remember there was an army officer and he went to a very high rank of a brigadier. So when he was promoted, the old British rules still follows the same way. Where when you are given the new stars, so the champagne will be given and the star is to be dipped in that champagne and then put in. And then you toss it and drink that champagne. So he says, I never take any kind of hard drinks. Then he wrote to the authority that if possible, bring orange juice for me to dip. They say, how it is so? This is the army rules and all that. Okay. Then I refrain from getting promoted. I am happy with what I am. So they say, how it is possible that you are the serial most to take that post? They agreed. Idea is this. The different kinds of, we have created a bondage in our mind. If it is in your hand, alter it, you change it. If it is not, you make your life little shrunk. Okay, then I don't do it. I can't change, I can't tell you to do it, so I rather don't do it. Or I refrain from coming to your place. So idea is this, that this continuous observing one's mind, this conscious observance of movement of the mind, you will be able to correlate with what I am saying. There was a time maybe when you do a mistake, you come to know it much later. By the time you are suffering the consequences. But you are continuously observing your mind and acting accordingly to prevent any kind of fall. So our progress is like this. Earlier when I do mistake, I realize after a long time. Then when I do a mistake, I started understanding faster. Then time comes, as soon as you do a mistake, you understand, I did wrong. And the next step will come, before you do a mistake, oh, I should not do it. There is no sudden conversion from a sinner to saint. We all are slowly. In Spanish they say paso a paso. Slowly, step by step. Step by step we improve. So our progress is what? I used to be angry every day. Then I become angry often. Then sometimes, then rarely, then I generally don't get angry. And the next thing is that I don't get angry at all, but that you don't say because that is ego. So you come up to this, very close to not being angry any time, is rarely something otherwise. He's okay, he doesn't get angry. Our progress is of that time. One progress is to achieve something higher. Another progress is not falling too often or too low. That also is a progress. It is like saving money and earning money. Earning money is plus plus plus. Saving money is minus is reduced. Because minus 500 then become minus 450. So minus is reduced. So that also is a progress. So we are at different stages of our life. I mean spiritual stages of our life. And everyone has issues. Because the whole game plan is nothing but purification of the mind and concentrating the mind. Rest will take place. For that you read books, for that you go to temple, for that you do the charity, for that you do good work, for that you thank people. Everything what you do positively is only for these two. In our books of yoga, this is told. If you have a coin which is put in a pail of water, so you can see the coin at the bottom of the pail. But then you add little soap and disturb the water, so all bubbles will be there. Now you cannot see the coin at the bottom. It is just 10 to 12 inch under the water, then you cannot see. Water is pure, but it is disturbed water. Still you cannot see the coin. To see the coin at the bottom of the bucket, bottom of the pail of water, the water has to be pure and the water has to be static. Water cannot be turbulent, well, water cannot be disturbed. So the reality, in truth, the divinity is within, but it is covered by these perceptions of the mind, where the impurity and the disturbed mind, this too doesn't allow us to realize. So you will find that people with strong liking and dislike, difficult for them to meditate. If they have very strong liking and dislike. For example, but this is true. It happens with people. I have an utter dislike for one particular person. His or her presence itself makes me irritated. I can't tell him or her not to come to temple, correct? So you go and sit in the temple, he or she comes and sits there. He or she doesn't even know that you are getting irritated. And you get up and go away. Why? No, I don't like the presence of that. This kind of people with strong liking and dislike is difficult to meditate. Why? I give these examples. You don't keep two television sets, one for the religious serials and one for the social serials. No, this TV cannot be spoiled by ordinary serials, or Ramayana and Mahabharata only we see in this TV. TV has nothing to do with that. TV doesn't get spoiled or TV doesn't get samadhi. In the same way, we are only one mind. With the same mind you do bad things, with the same mind you do good things. And you know one thing, I don't know, we sing one song written by Rabindranath Tagore. There is a beautiful line which says, sometimes I do mistakes and I am very ashamed of doing that mistake, so much so that I cannot look at your face. This is the meaning of that line. If you are conscious, if you are aware about what you do, I tell you, you cannot go to temple and look at the deity also, because you are shameful, because you did something which he doesn't appreciate or she doesn't appreciate. And what is it? কখনো বিপথে যদি ভ্রমিতে চাহে যদি অমৃত মুখে স্বর্গছে বৈশা. When my mind is straight, go away from my ideal. I can't look at you because of shame. So if you are aware about the movement of your mind, then your life becomes miserable. You go to temple but cannot look at the deity. How to look at it? Because I did something wrong which you don't like. People say in Vedanta it is said there is no natasya pratima asti. Why you people then create statues of gods and goddesses? It's for this purpose. You know, Sri Ramakrishna says in one place, when the shame goes away, there is no way for you to correct yourself. Earlier time, the son is grown up now, so he has started smoking. But he will never smoke in front of his father. Then father also smokes, but son will not smoke in front of the father. But when father and son sit together, let us smoke, then there is no way of correction. This thing happens in family life, and just because ignorance of these things, I remember there was a huge quarrel in one family because of the drinking habit of father. So when the problem became a little more serious, they came a few times. So I told the same thing. If you are shameful, go and drink outside if you cannot stop drinking. Come and just sleep. But don't drink in front of your children and all that. You are bringing down not only yourself but the whole atmosphere of the house. We are ashamed of going to temple, ashamed of going down to a monk or somebody senior. But you are okay to do all these things in front of your seniors and parents and all that. So idea is this, that if you are aware about it, if you are aware and you are consciously observing your mind, these things will come that no, before you do it, itself mind you know, I should not be doing this. But still you do it because it's out of your instinct, your force of your nature. And there is no end of it. There is no age of it. I remember, I don't know whether I should tell this or not. A very senior person, devotee, in his 70s or even 80s, says to one Swami, the Swami had gone to that center to give a lecture, to participate in the annual program. So, Swamiji, I want to see you one-to-one. I said, okay. So the old man came. He said, can I close this door? Swami felt what he wants to do. He said, I don't need you to close the door, but you want to close it. So he closed the door and came to the Swami and started crying. The Swami said, no, cool down. Why you are crying? What has happened? No, the state of my mind is very bad. At least he is able to observe. So much basic instinct is powerful in him. He says, seeing my great-granddaughter who is 4 to 5 years old, also I can't contain myself. The Swami shouted at him and said, you are not even fit to stay in a city. Get lost in the forest. Live with the animals. What is this state of mind? And of course the Swami told him a little harshly, but with all respects. So sometimes your instinct becomes so powerful. Could be anything, not only this instinct, but there are many instincts. You lose all ideas of senior, ideas of where you are, with whom you are, everything they forget. But this is very rare cases. But remember one thing, it won't take much time for any good person to go to that state. If you are not observant, if you are not careful, because the nature of the water and the nature of the mind is always to flow downward. It is your effort. For example, you are in a building which is 25-story building. You are at the level 1. I give you 2 buckets of water. Sir, can you take it upstairs? Upstairs means 25th floor and there is no lift. How difficult it will be for you to carry this 10-15 liters in both the side and climb the steps. Now reverse the picture. You are on the 25th floor. Can you send this water downstairs? Just pour it. Who created this? That it is easy for water to come down. It is so difficult to take the water up. Nature. So the nature has created the water in the same way and the mind also in the same way. You want to improve your mind, not months and years. Whole life goes in achieving one good habit perfectly. But if you want to spoil your character, not even 1 day is required. Because the creation is this way. The mind and the water both will flow downward. Why it is? A question was asked to Sri Ramakrishna. Why it is so difficult to concentrate the mind? Why it is so difficult to purify the mind? The devotee said, you say God realization is the goal of life, then why God realization is so difficult? If that was the goal of life, God should make it easier so everybody can realize God so easily. Sri Ramakrishna's always first answer was, how should we know why God did that? But then he gives answer that God wants to churn out the best version of you. You know, in Olympic, everything is competition only. 100 meters, 200 meters, 500 meters. So everybody is running. So difficult to cope up with. But there is 100 meters hurdle. So many hurdles will come. So person has to jump and go. So life is full of hurdles. Somehow you pass the one. The second is yet difficult. The third one is yet difficult. That's how it is. Otherwise all of us would have been doctorate by this time, but it's more and more difficult. And kindergarten is easy, then primary is more difficult, secondary is yet more difficult. Go to tertiary, go to college, it's yet more and more difficult. So what about spiritual life? It's always difficult. That's why you will find that those who are great people in their own personal life, spiritually elevated people, have so much sympathy and love for the people. People say, oh, Swami, I have done this thing very wrong. It's okay. See that you don't do it again. And it is good that you are realizing that you have done something wrong. So always encouraging to we know all of us will fail. So out of all those who failed, there is a small group of people who realize that they have failed. Maximum people don't even realize that they have failed. So those who realize that they have failed are the better lot of the failures. And that failure, which you come to know that yes, I have failed and I am ashamed of that or I am unhappy, whatever, then there is a chance for you to pass next time. But those who are in the blinding darkness, and there is a darkness in the blinding darkness. These words are used in our places also. So much dark that they don't know that there is something to see. There is no concept of light. But here is a small group of people who fail, are most ordinary people. But out of the most ordinary, they are little better because they understand that they are failing. And they are very much close to the border. Once they pass, they pass. So that is required. Failing is not a big thing. We all fail in our life. So for a spiritual ideal is concerned, nobody can say, Sri Ramakrishna, nobody can say in this world that I am this. No, don't be egoistic about it. There was a very traditional saying which was told about women, that who is a great woman? Let she pass the life, let she die with a pride, and after the cremation, when the ash will fly in the air, then you say, oh, that lady was very good. That was an earlier time a social, but then it is translated for the monks. Who is a good monk? Allow him to remain a good monk, let him die, let his ash fly in the sky. Then you can say he was a good monk. There is an incident, or rather story. A monk, I'm not able to see that clock, what is the time?
6 minutes. 10 minutes.
10 minutes to 7. So, that monk was on a deathbed and someone came and told that we came so many times to you and you advised us a lot, but I have a small question for you. Do you consider yourself a good monk? So he said, maybe, but I can't say it now. When you will tell? No, I don't need to tell, you will get the answer. When the monk died, cremation happened, all the ash and bones were put to Ganges, then people started looking, he was a good man, he was a really good man. That is the only thing. You cannot say I am good. The day you say good, next day something may happen to you. Because nobody can give you assurance. The world is such. So wherever we have to be observant and careful about our spiritual life. So these things came, we will continue for this, where the famous shlokas, about 22 shlokas will come. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Mission Singapore.